Welcome to Whiskey's a Journey. My name is Peter Fastiano. Today's Monday. I have an in-depth whiskey review coming at you. Looking at it, we're doing the Jack Daniel's 12-year batch number 3. Just like always, let's go ahead and pour it, nose it, taste it, talk about it a little bit. I'm going to add some water to it, and then if you stick around until the very end, I am going to give this a score. The stats on this, we're looking at a 107 proof Jack Daniel's 12-year-old batch 3 Tennessee whiskey. Jack Daniel's mash bill of 80% corn, 12% malted barley, and 8% rye. This is the same mash bill of the Tennessee whiskey, the old number 7. It's just aged a little bit longer. These special releases are 700 milliliter bottles, and I'm in Phoenix, Arizona, and I ended up paying $104 for this. I got lucky. I walked into an AJ's here in Arizona, and the woman that is in charge of the liquor department was taking this out of the basket. So it was just my luck. Blind luck, basically. I walked in there not really thinking that I was going to get this, and she was taking it out of the cart, putting it on the shelf, and I snagged it. If you've gotten your hands on the 10, the 12, or the 14, let me know what you think of it in the comments down below and what you paid for it. All right, on the nose. This immediately comes across as a little bit acetone, but not in a bad way. It really does have those classic Jack Daniel's notes, but it's extremely rich. There is a concentration and depth of notes coming out of the glass that are absolutely amazing. Typically with Jack Daniel's, I get a maple banana note, but the banana note is really far in the background. It's there, but it's not as dominant in this as it is in other Jack Daniel offerings. There is a chocolate cherry vanilla note that is really dominant. I like it quite a bit. Cinnamon pepper spice. I would say overall, this is first and foremost a sweet note, followed by a slight spice, then oak. It is definitely up there with one of the better Jack Daniel's notes that I've had in the past. Something that might rival this would be one of their Jack Daniel's single barrel proofs. But this is more intense, more vibrant, and it definitely has more oak and char in the nose. All right, I am tired of talking about it. Let's go ahead and get this thing on the palate. Cheers, everybody. Oh, wow. That is dark, rich, concentrated in the flavors. Everything that I was getting on the nose is definitely coming through on the palate. Barrel char, maple, cherry. Oh, there in that on that finish, there's a little bit of a nutty note that I've never really gotten on Jack Daniel's. That's crazy. It's a chocolate-covered nut wrapped in a chocolate-covered cherry. Throw in some tobacco, some leather, vanilla, almost like a Snickers bar. Very candy sweet with a good amount of spice, but not a spice that's going to push it up over the top that it would be too spicy for me. I know recently my palate has leaned a little bit more towards a spicy note, and I think this is extremely well balanced with the amount of sweet that's coming out of the glass. Pair that up with the spice and the oak and the char, you've got a fantastic pour. This is absolutely amazing. Definitely going to be in my top whiskeys of 2025. That is for sure. All right, let me get one more sip in, concentrate on the finish, add some water, and then talk a little bit about these releases. All right, second sip, everybody. Yeah, this is phenomenal. Dark cherry, barrel char, oak, spice, vanilla, banana split, maybe. Almost like a cherry cream soda as well. This is a dessert in a glass. No matter how you look at it, it's very desserty, very sweet. Let me go ahead and put some water in this, let it sit for a little bit. I want to talk a little bit about the finish because I think the finish is something that might put some people off depending upon your palates. So I mentioned an acetone note on the nose, and that acetone note is coming through on the finish. This is a very long finish. I mean, it's sitting here, it's lingering, and that nutty note is definitely throwing me for a loop. Just like I had mentioned, I've never really gotten a nutty note out of Jack Daniel's, and it's turning a little bit bitter on the finish. It's definitely a long finish, make no mistake about that. But the oak, the char, that nutty note, I think is starting to turn a little bit bitter. Maybe throw in some dark chocolate as well. And all of those notes are going to linger around that bitter note. And I think that might put off a little bit of people. I know everybody's palate is a little bit different. People might try this and go, what are you talking about? There's no bitterness in this at all. There's no acetone in this at all. Palates are much different than one another, but that's what I'm getting in the glass at the moment. I've had a couple of pours out of this bottle, and I think I've recognized that note multiple times. Never the nutty note, but definitely that acetone bitterness on the far back end of the finish. Otherwise, it would be a perfect whiskey. I'd throw this up there in the realm of like a Russell's 15. I could probably throw this into my blind sample pool and put this up against 15 and see how it does. All right, with the water being added, let me let this sit for a little bit. I don't think that this is going to act very well or it's going to behave really well with the water, but I add water to everything. I do want to just check it out. So just to be consistent, I'm going to throw water in here. Now, the Jack Daniel's first released the batch 12, or sorry, the 12 year in 2023. That came out along with batch number 2 of the 10 year. Jump ahead year, 2025, we're looking at batch number 3 of the 12, the first batch of the 14, and then the fourth batch of the 10. I think I have my batches correct. All those numbers, all those batches, it kind of throws me for a little bit. Now, looking at the information, it does look like they are trying to reestablish some of the older age statements. So I do believe they are going to continuously release the 10, the 12, and the 14 going forward. And then they're going to shoot for an 18 and a 21-year-old based on the information that I looked at. Now, whether or not that happens or not, who knows? I think a lot of environmental factors are going to play a part in whether or not they do come out with something a little bit older than that. And this is something that I probably should have looked up before I actually started opening my mouth and talking, but I do believe the 10 year is released at 97 proof, 107 proof for the 12, and then this year's first batch of the 14 was released at 126.3. I don't know if that will be jumping around because they are releasing those at cask strength. So maybe from year to year, release to release, that proof would be different. But I do have to say the 107 proof of this one is spot on. It's not too over the top that it'll blow your palate out. It's something that's going to want you to just go back in sip after sip after sip. Take it a little bit slow. It's not like the 10 year where you can just, take sip after sip after sip. You don't really have to think about it that much. This one is definitely one that makes you want to slow down, appreciate all of the different notes and flavors that are coming out of the glass. Really sink in and experience what this has to offer. Not getting into a whole lot of the history with Jack Daniel's at all. There are plenty of videos out there, and especially on my channel, that I've talked about Jack Daniel's history. Today is all about the 12. There is a tremendous amount of cherry. I just brought that up to my nose. There is a huge amount of cherry that is coming out of the glass now that wasn't there without the water. I still get a pretty good amount of barrel char and oak. I think the nuances of the nose has tamed down a little bit. It's not as vibrant and it's not as concentrated with the water. I do get a little bit more vanilla, and it's coming across as more of a pepper note rather than a cinnamon pepper note. No matter how you look at it, it's still absolutely amazing on the nose. And absent completely, now that I've added water to it, is that banana maple note. There's really nothing like that in the glass with the water. And I may have added a little bit too much, but we'll see. All right, let's go ahead and get it on the palate with the water. All right, with the water, I would say that it's more of an oak spiced cherry rather than all of those other notes. The chocolate note is gone. The nutty note is nowhere to be found. The finish is now pretty short to medium. It's still a good tasting whiskey, so if 107 might be a little bit too much for your palate, I would say that this still holds up a little bit to the water. Just don't add a whole lot at the time. Maybe do a drop or two, see what it's like, and then maybe add a little bit more if you want it to calm down just a little bit. Everybody's different. Everybody's at a different spot in their journey. Some can handle proof, some can't. It's your whiskey. Drink it the way that you want to. Experiment with it. Find out which way you like it best, and then drink it that way. Don't be afraid to put water in it. Don't be afraid to chill it. Don't be afraid to put ice in it. And especially, don't be afraid of the people that are telling you how to drink your own whiskey. You bought it, you're drinking it, drink it the way that you want to. So before I get onto the score, I want to remind everybody I have a May giveaway happening. The Penelope First Friday Flight Fight is automatically going to be included into the giveaway if you won. And then on top of that, if you win, you can choose 6 2-ounce samples of anything that I reviewed in the month of May, which includes this bottle. All of the rules to that giveaway are in the description below. Read through those. And unfortunately, it is U.S. participants only. And speaking of giveaway, my April giveaway is going to be happening on Wednesday. I'm currently recovering or out of town from the KCBS event in Ruidoso, New Mexico. If you are interested in how I did, take a look at the community tab or the posts. I've posted pictures of the competition boxes along with my KCBS results for the entire competition. If you're still here, if you made it this far and you like this information, do me a favor, turn on that bell notification because I produce videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Give me a like if you end up liking this video. And if you're not subscribed to the channel, do me a favor, subscribe to the channel. It's free, doesn't cost you anything. You just have to put a little bit of effort to just click on that subscribe button right down there. All right, on to the score. As you can tell, I'm a huge fan of this. I would put this up there with one of the better tasting whiskeys that I've had so far in 2025, and probably up there with one of the better tasting whiskeys that I've had in my entire collection. I really do like this quite a bit. Because of everything that is coming out of the glass as far as the depth of flavor and the concentration of flavors, I'm going to put this at a 4.5. That's a pretty high score for me, but I think it's warranted. I think you can drink this with and without water. Just be cautious of how much water you actually put in it at one time. Start with a drop, then 2, then 3, and then go from there. But 4.5, this is an amazing tasting Tennessee whiskey. I really enjoy it, and I am looking forward to what they are going to be doing in the future with the 18 and the 21. And with that, let me know your favorite Jack Daniel's product in the comments down below. And wherever you're at in your journey, I hope you're enjoying it. Until the next time, we'll talk to everybody later. Bye. Fantastic. Really looking forward to what they do next.